Ooh-wee. Okay, welcome to a new episode of Nate's MMA Corner. I am Nate, and if you watch my show, you're in my corner. Today's episode is about UFC 183, Silva versus Diaz. And yeah, this pay-per-view was way better than the last one. The last one had the whole entire main card was all decisions. Drove me nuts. This one, the first three matches were all second round finishes, and then the co-main event and main event were decisions, which, okay, that's fine. A couple decisions, not overdoing it. Yeah, so let's get started with the main event of UFC 183. Nick Diaz versus Anderson Silva, former UFC middleweight champion of the world, in a middleweight bout. Yeah, Nick Diaz previously fought at welterweight, 170 pounds. Now he fought at 185 pounds and made weight perfectly fine for this bout, for this 5-round main event. And yeah, wow, it was an entertaining fight. I mean, anyone who knows anything about MMA knows that this fight was a joke. It was lopsided. We all knew that Anderson Silva would walk right through Nick Diaz, and I'm a Nick Diaz fan admitting that. I hate to admit it, but it's true. Yeah, so the least we could ask for in this fight is it be entertaining, and it was entertaining. Nick Diaz put on his antics. Anderson Silva went for the knockout here and there. He landed some good clean shots, good combinations. Yeah, he threw some flashy kicks, some flashy high kicks. No one expected that to happen. I think Anderson Silva did that to prove to himself that he could still do it. Nick Diaz, there were moments where he did put on a good performance, but he did stall around and was cussing out Anderson Silva a little too much. I think had Nick Diaz gone for it, he could have finished Anderson Silva, got the victory, got the big upset that a lot of people didn't see coming, including myself. But Anderson Silva outpointed Nick Diaz each and every round. But I would say round one or two, Nick Diaz won. One of the judges, I believe, got that right. I do think it was 49-46 for Anderson Silva. The other two judges had 50-45. So there you have it. Anderson Silva won by unanimous decision. It was, yeah, a great fight overall. Still entertaining. It was definitely a good main event to have. Can't argue with that. Then in the co-main event, it was supposed to be a welterweight clash, but it turned into a catchweight bout because Kelvin Gastelum couldn't make the weight. He was 9 pounds off from the 171 limit max for welterweight. Yeah, Kelvin Gastelum fought Tyrone Woodley. It was a great fight. It wasn't the greatest fight, but I've seen worse. Tyrone Woodley, he did a good job. I think he definitely squeaked out the victory here. I think it should have been 29-28 unanimous decision win for Tyrone Woodley, but turned into a split decision, and this was pretty much a points match. It wasn't a bad match, but it wasn't great either, but it is what it is. That was a co-main event, so Tyrone Woodley, he definitely keeps his number 3 ranking in the UFC welterweight division for sure. And Kelvin Gastelum, he needs to move to middleweight, and it looks like he will be moving to middleweight. Then also on the main card, we had a lightweight bout with Al Iaquinta and Joe Lauzon. This was, wow. I was pretty impressed by Al Iaquinta in this fight. I thought Joe Lauzon would go for a takedown and get a submission eventually, maybe in round 2 or 3, or just get dominant positions on the ground and win a decision. But they stayed standing, and Al Iaquinta, he worked his boxing in that second round and it was TKO punches victory over Joe Lauzon. It was a great fight. Yeah, I was pretty impressed. I think Al Iaquinta definitely deserves a top 10, top 15 opponent now. Then, also on the main card, in the middleweight division, we had Tally's Ladies versus Tim Boesch. Yeah, this one, I definitely picked Tally's Ladies to win. Tally's Ladies to win this one. And yeah, he won by technical submission. It was, yeah, arm triangle choke in round 2. Wow. Yeah, Tim Boesch, he landed some good, clean, heavy shots in that first round. And then Tally's Ladies was able to eventually wear out Tim Boesch, get him down on the second round, and sinking that submission win. Yeah, Tally's, he's definitely a submission guy, but he's been knocking people out too as of lately. So this definitely reminded the middleweight division that be careful because he can submit you. And then his previous fights, be careful because he's definitely improved on his stand-up. Then to kick off the main card, we had a welterweight clash with Jordan Mein and Thiago Alves. Wow, now this one I picked Jordan Mein to win, and he was winning. He was dominating Thiago Alves every which way on the stand-up. But man, Thiago Alves came back, and he got TKO victory in the second round. It was officially body kick and punches. Great fight, great exciting fight, and I believe, yeah, Thiago Alves got a bonus for that one. Yeah, performance of the night. I think it was much deserved. Thiago Alves is a veteran. He's paid his dues, and he definitely had heart and willpower to come back in this fight and get the W. So good job, Thiago Alves, and I hope we see bigger names for Thiago Alves because he's always been fun to watch. He's definitely one of the long-lasting veterans in the sport. He goes back to the 80s, the UFC 80s, you know, and so forth in the sport. Yeah, wow. And we all remember his famous clash with George St. Pierre at UFC 100. So yeah, that wraps up the post-fight show for UFC 183. And stay tuned for my next episode, which will be about Brandon Thatch versus Benson Henderson in a welterweight clash. Benson Henderson going up to welterweight to fight in the main event against Brandon Thatch. And a lot of people don't know who Brandon Thatch is. I am buying into the hype. He's 11-1. He's 2-0 in the UFC. He's manhandled Paulo Thiago and Justin Edwards, and he's looking great. Wow, I think Brandon Thatch, yeah, he's the favorite for a reason. He's definitely a top prospect at welterweight to watch out for. And yeah, he's been on a long layoff as of late, but he's a young guy still, and he'll come swinging. He'll come swinging, and he'll use his height and reach on Benson Henderson, I believe, and his knockout power. So stay tuned for that one, and I'll be talking about that one in the near future. Until then, see ya.